Okay, so picture this. It's 1926, and this small, mysterious little red book appears. It's so short it's barely even a pamphlet, and the author? Totally anonymous. But here's the thing. It comes with this incredibly bold promise right on the cover. The famous little red book that makes your dreams come true. And the system inside is so simple, the title itself came from the very first person who tried it. His feedback was just 2 words: it works.
And that, really, is the big question, isn't it? Can a bunch of ideas from almost 100 years ago, packed into just a few pages, actually deliver on a claim that huge? I mean, is it even possible that the secret to getting everything you want has just been hiding in plain sight all this time?
Well, this is the core idea, stated right up front. The author, who just says he's a highly successful person, credits this one simple, powerful truth for, well, all of his success. The book's entire philosophy really boils down to this one sentence: if you truly know what you want, you can have it, period. So let's talk about this book. It's called It Works, and it was published way back in 1926. Now, the author decided to stay anonymous because he believed the best way to help people was without needing any credit or praise. And that title? It wasn't some clever marketing thing. He actually sent the first draft to a friend to get his opinion, and the friend sent it back with a simple note that just said, "It works." The name stuck because, well, it was the perfect description.
But before we get to the how-to part, the book first deals with the why not. Why do so many of us never actually get the things we think we want? The author says it all comes down to a huge mistake in how we go about desiring things in the first place.
The book's point is that most people treat their desires like wishes. They're just these fleeting thoughts, things we say out loud without any real focus or energy behind them. You know the old saying, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride? And that's the thing. That kind of wishing, it gets you absolutely nowhere. The book gives us some really perfect classic examples. So first, let's meet Jimmy, the office boy. He sees this awesome car, a red roadster, and for a second, he has this flash of desire. He even says the words, "Gee, I wish that were mine." But according to the author, there's no real intention there. It's just a thought, and then poof, it's gone. And it's not just Jimmy, of course. We see the exact same thing with Florence. She's looking at a beautiful ring in a window and has the same thought. It's just a passing daydream, a sigh, but it doesn't have the focus, the earnestness that's needed to actually make something happen. And then we get to what might be the most destructive pattern of all. Here's Jones. He sees a home he'd love to have, but his very first reaction is to decide it's impossible. He actually tells his wife a house like that is out of the question. He's shutting the door on his own desire before it even has a chance.
So this is the crucial difference. You see it here on the screen. On one side, you've got the mindset of Jimmy, Florence, and Jones. It's fleeting, it's passive, it's basically thoughtless wishing. But on the other side is what this book is all about: a deliberate, focused, active plan. It's the huge difference between just saying I wish and deciding I will.
Okay, so if just wishing for stuff is the problem, what's the solution? Well, the book argues that the answer isn't somewhere out there. Nope, it's already inside you. It introduces this idea of a silent, incredibly powerful partner that's basically just waiting for you to give it clear instructions. The author gives this power a name: the subjective mind. Now, whether you want to call it your subconscious or use his term, Emmanuel, which means God in us, he says the label really doesn't matter. What matters is recognizing that this power is omnipotent, it's all-powerful, and it's ready and willing to bring you any earnest desire that you clearly impress upon it. And the author uses a really simple analogy to explain this. He says this power isn't some mystical, weird thing. It's just like radio waves. They're all around us, right now, all the time. Your job isn't to create the waves. Your job is to build a receiver and tune it to exactly the right frequency. And this is how you tune in. A half-hearted wish, a casual, "Oh, wouldn't that be nice," just creates static. It's not a clear signal. To get that perfect connection, the book says you have to be truly, sincerely, and deeply in earnest about it. Your desire has to become a fixed, solid idea, not just some random thought floating by. So how do you actually do that? How do you go from that vague wishing to what the book calls definite wanting? Well, lucky for us, the book lays out a super simple plan with 4 key rules to follow. All right, here's the plan. Step 1, write it down. Get all your desires out of your head and onto a piece of paper, and list them in order of importance. Just doing that forces you to be clear. Step 2,
Read that list 3 times every single day, morning, noon, and night. This repetition is what impresses the ideas onto that subjective mind. Step 3. Think about what you want as often as you possibly can. This is all about keeping your focus sharp. And finally, step 4, keep it a secret. The author's really clear on this. Don't talk about your plan with anyone, because their doubt or skepticism can mess up your connection. This is just between you and that power inside you.
Now, following the rules is one thing, but the author adds some really important details to make sure the whole plan actually works. This is kind of like the fine print, the little things that can make all the difference between success and failure. And the most critical point of all is specificity. This is a big one. You can't just write down a new car or a home on your list. I mean, that's still way too vague. Your subjective mind, your inner power, it needs a really clear, detailed blueprint to work from.
So, for instance, if you want a home, the book says you need to plan out its structure, decide on the location, even picture the furniture. You need to know exactly how much it costs, and maybe most important of all, you have to decide when you want it. Remember, vague desires get vague results. You have to be specific.
The book gives a warning, too. It says that once you start getting what you asked for, this natural and ancient enemy is going to show up, and that enemy is disbelief. Your logical brain will jump in and try to explain it all away with thoughts just like this. Nah, it can't be possible. It just happened. What a crazy coincidence.
And the antidote to that doubt is actually really simple. The second you feel tempted to just call it a coincidence, you have to stop. And in that moment, give sincere, heartfelt thanks to your inner power for making it happen. That act of gratitude reinforces your belief, it strengthens the connection, and it proves to yourself that this law is actually working.
But the author also includes a really stern warning. This power, he says, is totally impartial. It will give you exactly what you ask for, but, and this is a big but, you have to take everything that comes along with it. So he really pushes the reader to plan for things that will bring the greatest good, not just for you, but for everyone around you too. As the book wraps up, the author doesn't just give a summary. He leaves you, the reader, with this direct, very personal challenge that kind of turns the whole thing from a simple instruction manual into a really profound question about your own life. In his final letter to the reader, he asks this. He says, the powerful idea in this little book is a gift, just like your eyesight or your hearing or life itself. And then he hits you with the ultimate question. What are you gonna do with it? So what is this whole thing? Is it some timeless universal law of how the universe works? Or is it just a clever psychological trick that helps you focus your mind? You know, maybe it's what scientists today call the reticular activating system, basically training your brain to finally notice all the opportunities that were there all along. The book doesn't ask you to analyze it. It doesn't ask you to believe it. It leaves you with just one simple challenge. Try it.